Hi there, everybody. Welcome back to another album review. This time we once more have an EP that I've labeled as an album review anyway. This time around we have Young Gravy's 2017 EP, Young Gravity. I've gone ahead and marked this as a mix between rap and hip hop. There's, as there always is, a lot of things to talk about, so let us jump straight into it, shall we? We have 5 tracks on this EP, including 2 features, namely track 2, Bought the Plug a Present, and the last track, 5, Stain. The first feature, Jay Storm, had very limited musical success up until this point, and that did not really change after this feature with Young Gravy. The second feature, on the other hand, Baby No Money, is no stranger to anybody who's a Young Gravy fan or who's chronically online. Baby No Money and Young Gravy went on to become an internationally recognized dynamic duo, making more hits together than I can count on my 2 hands. You can think of Whip a Tesla, Rotisserie, Shining on My Ex, and more recently C'est la vie. Listening back to these 2 on track 5 of the EP Young Gravity is quite special if you take into consideration what these 2 went on to accomplish, both together as well as individually. The lyrics on this EP are classic Gravy. If you ever have to bet what Young Gravy will talk about on a record, you can bet your money on either of these 3 topics and sleep very well at night. He talks about the women he engages with, his luxury lifestyle, which includes jewels that he mentions in original ways like, yo, can't believe how icy is my wrist, on Young Gravity, and flexing on my exes out the window of a Lexus on Bought the Plug a Present. And lastly, if we are to believe Gravy, our girlfriends will get seduced by him at some points in their life. Young Gravy loves to lean into samples more than any other rapper I can think of, honestly. He has producers heavily incorporate samples of songs mainly from the 80s to lay the foundations of a track. Young Gravity, Bought the Plug a Present, and Stain feature Dennis Edwards' Don't Look Any Further. Forget Me Thoughts is a clear play on the 1982 song Forget Me Nots by Patrice Rushen, and the instrumental of Flex Season is dominated by that iconic sample of Careless Whisper by George Michael. Sampling these songs did not all go smoothly, as some copyright issues arose, which I won't discuss in this video as that will lead us a little too far. But when the samples are laid down, some hip-hop elements are added on top, and this gives Gravy the perfect bass to flow on, which he, even this early on, already almost does to perfection. The tracks flow effortlessly, and it feels like this could have been released in the 80s, and the only question people would have asked is, who's on the drums for this song? That is not the original, this is just some guy making a remix. This brings us to an overview of my scores. As I have stated before, I have a complicated relationship with ratings like these. I find it hard to properly gauge how to rate a body of work in an objective way, as it is obviously a super subjective matter. What you like may not be what I like, and vice versa. So I have just sort of made this a personal overview. The lyrical content is overall nothing groundbreaking or thought-provoking. Sometimes there's a clever sequence where he uses some analogies or euphemisms. They are fun to listen to, but take no effort to really digest. However, it's clear that the rapper has different ambitions for his music. He describes his music himself as fun music, happy music, or even mom music. And we can consider that a mission accomplished on this EP, to be honest. So I would rate the lyrical content a 3. On the instrumental side of things, personally, I love the 70s, 80s, and 90s music, so turning these classics into a rap beat and giving sort of a hip-hop spin to it works wonders for me. I can listen to these songs over and over again solely because of the beats, so I would rate the instrumentals a 4. The performance on this album I rate very highly from Young Gravy. We have to keep in mind that the year is 2017, and to be honest, this was something completely different at the time. I encourage you to sort of think back about the time and then really put this EP into perspective based on what was popular in rap and hip hop at the time. If you have trouble remembering exactly what was popular, I don't blame you, it's been a while. I'll name some of the artists that were huge in the genre at the time. We had Humble by Kendrick Lamar, Mask Off by Future, Bank Account by 21 Savage. And obviously I do not want to take anything away from these very popular other artists, I'm simply highlighting how different this EP was in the space at the time. So the performance, I would rate a 3.5. Next up is the development, and I feel like this was Gravy really figuring out where he was heading with his career at this point. It was a substantial step towards the style of rap he would eventually make his own. It is honestly night and day if you compare this to his first EP titled Mr. Clean EP. The flow is a lot more well polished, the samples are well defined and dominate the instrumental as they honestly should. And Young Gravy is turning into that confident, suave ladies' man that we know him as today. So I would rate the development a 4. Lastly is the replay value. For me, this EP holds a special place in my heart because of the nostalgia I have thinking about the era it came out in. So I think I'm heavily biased in giving this high of a rating, but I honestly feel like you can put this EP on in the car today and nobody would really bat an eye. It holds up really well almost 10 years later. So I would rate the replay value a 4. So overall, I would rate this EP a 3 out of 5. Young Gravy laid the foundation for what would later become his signature style in his future career. He surprised many people at the time with this EP as it became wildly popular, amassing millions and millions of streams on Spotify and other streaming services. And in my opinion, the EP holds up really well today, as I mentioned earlier. Thank you so much for checking out this review. I really appreciate you guys checking it out, and I hope to see you guys very soon. Thank you, guys.